You want the magic words. I get it. You want me to tell you exactly what to say to her. And I get that. You want words that'll make her eyes light up, her heart race, and her immediate reaction be, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? And listen, if I had those words, if there was one single line that worked on every woman in every situation, I'd just print it on a t-shirt, sell it for $39.99 and retire to a beach somewhere. Seriously. But that's not how human connection works. You can't just copy paste your way into chemistry. And if I did give you a script, oh, you'd rely on it like a crutch. The second she responds in a way that you didn't expect, you'd freeze, you'd fumble, or worst case scenario, you'd just repeat the last line you said like some kind of a romance robot, hoping it magically reset the conversation. Reboot, please, reboot. Not exactly the smooth, confident vibe you were going for. Confidence isn't about knowing exactly what to say. It's about knowing that you can handle whatever happens next. It's about being present and in the moment. Also, reading the room and trusting yourself to navigate the conversation without a script. So no, I'm not handing out magic words today, but I am going to give you something way better. A way to actually navigate conversations so that you don't feel like you're skydiving without a parachute every time you talk to a woman you're interested in. If that sounds good to you, I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. The best way to start a conversation isn't with some rehearsed line anyway. It's with something real, something situational, something light, and something that doesn't scream, I Googled this before I left the house. I hope it works on you. Instead of stressing over the perfect line, focus on making a normal observation. If you're at a coffee shop, you can say, okay, I have to know. Do you actually like oat milk or are you just pretending because society told you to? If you're in line somewhere, you can go with, I feel like we're officially in this together now. If this takes much longer, I say we form an alliance. If you notice something about her, throw in, okay, I have to say that this is an excellent jacket you're wearing. You either have impeccable taste or you stole it from somebody who does. The goal isn't to be the funniest or most charming person in the world. It's to be present, to start a conversation in a way that feels natural and invites her to respond. If confidence is what makes you attractive, then playfulness is what makes you memorable. Because here's the thing. Most guys approach conversations like a job interview. They try to sound impressive. They're terrified of saying the wrong thing, so they default to the conversational equivalent of, I'd say plain oatmeal, but I don't want to speak badly of oatmeal. I love it. Plain oatmeal, though, does not spark attraction. When I was a kid, I always wanted one of those giant checks. You know, the ones they deliver to your front door, ringing the bell like you just won the lottery. I mean, I think you did. It didn't matter to me, though, because I didn't even realize it meant thousands of dollars. I just wanted the big check. If you ever felt the same way, I just want to point out today is a special day. It's the day that you could become a channel member. I mean, I'm not going to be cutting you a check the size of a billboard, but depending on the membership that intrigues you, I could be giving you access to a live stream Q&A or a small group Zoom call, or maybe even something else that's not quite as cool as a check the size of your car, but still pretty special. Just you and me and a little extra connection, if you want it. Hit the join button down there and congratulations, you're a winner. All right, let's head on back, shall we? Playfulness is what makes a woman want to keep talking to you. It creates that little spark of, oh, this guy is actually fun. And the best part, you don't have to be a stand-up comedian to pull it off. One of the easiest ways to be playful is to tease her gently. If she's ordering something overly complicated, some coffee drink, you can just lean in and say, wow, okay, you're the kind of person who orders a quad shot, half sweet, extra foam oat milk latte? That's a power move. If she's into astrology, hit her with, Oh no, should I be worried? Are you about to tell me my whole personality based on my birth time? If she's taking forever to decide on food, you can shake your head and say, all right, I see what's happening here. You're one of those people who can't decide what to eat ever. Should I just start listing menu items for you and you can tell me which one doesn't make you want to cry? It's all about tone. You're not being mean, you're being playful. The goal is to invite her into a fun back and forth, not roast her like you're Jeffrey Ross. Another way to keep things light is to flip the script on boring, predictable questions. So instead of asking, what do? You could say, what's the least impressive thing about your job? Or instead of saying, so where are you from? Try saying, okay, tell me one thing from where you grew up that would absolutely confuse me. And instead of saying, what do you do for fun? Go with, what's the most ridiculous hobby you've ever tried? This keeps things fresh. It gives her something fun to answer instead of just reciting her LinkedIn profile or her date shtick. And if you really want to create instant chemistry, talk to her like you already have inside jokes. If she tells you she loves hiking, don't just nod and say, oh, yeah, that's cool. Look at her like you've cracked her whole personality and say, oh, I see how it is. You're one of those I just have to be in nature people. Do you also wake up at sunrise and drink herbal tea while journaling about your intentions for the day? Again, it's playful. It could be true, right? You don't want to insult her. It's just exaggerated. You're not making fun of her. You're creating a shared moment of fun. Let's say you do open with something situational and she responds, amazing. Now what? This is where guys get stuck. They go in with a plan, and the second she goes off script, poof, brain malfunction. They either bail or default to small talk that has the energy of, I don't know, some boring job interview. Instead of panicking, match the energy of the response that you do get from her. If she responds like enthusiastically, lean in. If she's short or distracted, take the hint. If she looks at you like you just asked her to solve a math problem in public, abort mission. The key here is awareness. A guy who can read social cues is infinitely more attractive than a guy with the perfect pickup line. The biggest mistake guys make is treating conversations like a performance. They think their job is to be the most charming, the most interesting, or impressive. That is so exhausting. You can't keep it up. And for you and for her, actually. Instead of trying to be the best guy she's ever talked to, focus on being the most engaged guy in the room. That means listening. That means asking questions that show you're actually interested in her, not just waiting for your turn to talk. When you stop trying to win the conversation and you start actually enjoying it, that's when attraction can happen. The bottom line is that conversations aren't exams. They're not auditions. And they're definitely not some secret handshake where if you say the exact right words, she suddenly decides you're worthy. The best thing you can do is be present, be aware, and enjoy yourself. Because when you relax, when you actually have fun in the conversation instead of treating it like some high stakes negotiation, that's when connection happens. And if you're still sitting there waiting for the magic words, fine, here they are. Hey, I saw you standing there and I wanted to come say hi. Hi. Revolutionary. Groundbreaking. Completely unscripted and 100% effective when delivered by a man who's actually paying attention to the person in front of him. And hey, if that was helpful, you might want to check out this episode here. There's a bunch of them. They're really good. I've got a handful here. I'll list a couple of them in the description below. And please, before you go, give my mom the thumbs up. She's asking for one tiny support gesture before she starts selling Magic Conversation Starter t-shirts for $39.99. And don't forget to subscribe. Unless you love overthinking your conversations and never actually talking to women. In that case, carry on. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And until next time, have a good one.